Welcome, dear academicians and guests, to this plenary of the Pontifical Academy of Science. Special welcome to the new members of the Academy. You will introduce yourself in a session tomorrow evening. We are, of course, sad that Pope Francis was not able to see us yesterday, but he released his address, which he was planning to deliver. Let me make a few remarks, quote a few sections from it. It will be distributed to you. It is also on the internet on the website of the Holy See. I quote just a couple of sections. All of us are increasingly troubled, the Holy Father says, by humanity's deep impacts on nature and earth systems. I have learned that one of you, Turkson, in describing these impacts on created nature, referred to them collectively as constituting the age of the Anthropocene. Members of your academy were thus among the first to identify the cumulative impact of human activities on creation and to study its related risks and problems. I am grateful then that the Pontifical Academy of Sciences continues to focus concern on issues such as these, not least with regard to the implications for the poor and the disadvantaged. Your plenary assembly this year also addresses emerging new sciences and innovations and related opportunities for science and planetary health. Here I think particularly of the challenges posed by the progress made in artificial intelligence. Furthermore, the risks of manipulative applications of artificial intelligence for shaping public opinion, influencing consumer choices, and interfering with electoral processes need to be acknowledged and prevented. These challenges remind us of the invariable human and ethical dimensions of all scientific and technological progress. The Holy Father concludes, he elaborates further on these points, but concludes then, dear friends, at a time when crises, wars, and threats to world security seem to prevail, your own quiet contributions. Actually, I take issue with that. We are not quiet. Don't quote me. Your own quiet contributions to the progress of knowledge in the service of our human family are all the more important for the cause of global peace and international cooperation. I thank you for your participation in the work of the Academy and offer you my prayerful good wishes for the deliberations and of the present plenary assembly. Upon you, your families, and all associated with your important work, I invoke God's abundant blessings. And I ask you, please, to remember me in your prayers. Thank you. Well, me reading the Pope's statement is no good substitute, but I think it's important for our Academy to know how seriously concerned and how appreciative Pope Francis is of our work. Massimo, you have a seat. You don't need to stand. Where is
Eric is in Massimo's seat.
Oh, then come here. Next to my wife, you're very welcome. I want to give you a brief preview of the plenary and inform you what the Council and I had in mind when designing the agenda. First, we want to address human impact on Earth systems and related science, the Anthropocene. That's the session which follows right away. Recently, in our conference on climate resilience with scientists, governors, and mayors, Pope Francis took the unusual step to place his signature on the call to action for climate resilience prepared by us. What's unusual in that? I mean, Pope Francis and the Holy See receive our statements, but that he himself puts the first signature on that call to action for climate resilience, we find that on our website, was a strong endorsement, and it bodes well because the Holy See has by now also signed the Paris Agreement, the Climate Accord. As the Anthropocene is showing its increasingly dramatic consequences for nature and people, especially through climate crisis, loss in biodiversity and health, we feel we ought to take a fresh look. And that's session 2 on the climate crisis. We are planning something unusual with the Pontifical Academy of Science. We are planning next year to leave this wonderful building and have decentralized regional meetings on climate resilience in the 5 hemispheres. Session 8, Science and AI linking with traditional and indigenous peoples' knowledge for addressing Anthropocene issues, builds on a fascinating conference which we had with indigenous peoples earlier this year. By the way, Pope Francis, I didn't read that, is referring to that as an important step that we open up to all knowledge in society. Secondly, with this plenary, we want to address emerging science issues in AI. Yesterday afternoon and evening on ethics and AI session gave us a wonderful start in that. Many thanks to the speakers in that session who are also here. Thirdly, science in chemistry, physics, biology, and life science and medicines are already aided in new ways by AI. I refer to how the world deals with COVID, but we also had important conferences on neurotechnology and cancer, and we will revisit the outcomes of these recent workshops held here in the Academy in this plenary. Fourth, our Academy maintains strong interest in frontier science related to astronomy. Fascinating insights are gained by the James Webb Telescope, for instance, and new analytical technologies. Session 7 will focus on that. And fifth, our Academy continues to address issues of science skepticism in society and the media. This is especially important when crises, wars, and growing risks trouble people and planet, as is currently the case. Some of you may have seen the recent article in Science, how AI, large language models, can help reduce conspiracy beliefs. That was in the September volume of Science. So there's some good news how AI can also assist in overcoming the conspiracy beliefs so widespread. This plenary session includes leaders from various global academies and science policy networks. I'm very grateful that in session 9, we have the opportunity to engage with those science policy leaders and draw our conclusions. Our program is packed full, probably too packed full. So my appeal is that all chairs, please don't be rude, but insist on keeping time, because you want the debates with your colleagues in the coffee breaks, lunch breaks, and dinners. So thank you again for coming, and I hand over to our Chancellor, Cardinal Turkson, to make his welcome remarks.
I think, good morning to all of you again. So the message has been distributed. So good morning, and in the interest of just the last observations, I think I'll just stay with my comments and allow you to proceed.
And you will speak to us in this session.